A few months back, when I first attended the National Women Veterans Association of America, I learned about Transcendental meditation. And at today's event, Transcendental meditation reps are here. So it's my honor to introduce Dr. Martha Batorski and Nina Meade. Doctor, can you tell me a little bit about what Transcendental meditation is?
Yes, Transcendental meditation has been around for many centuries. And it is a simple, effortless mental technique, which is practiced twice a day for 20 minutes, morning and evening. And it is not something that requires any belief system. It does not require a person to want it to be effective. It's a very deep physiological rest, deeper than the deepest part of deep sleep. When we meditate, we are trained by a certified teacher, as opposed to picking it out of a book. We get immediate benefits from it. So on the first sitting, we begin to experience a state where the body is rested, deeper than the deepest part of deep sleep, and the mind yet is awake inside. When the body gets to rest, the nature of the body is to throw off anything foreign to it. And so we start to release accumulated fatigue, stress, and strain. And when we come out of our meditation, we feel a tremendous amount of lightness, increased energy, increased mental clarity, etc. And I personally have done research with the military on the improvement of situation awareness as a result of meditating twice a day.
What is exactly situational awareness? What does that mean?
Situation awareness was studied probably 30, 40 years ago, first in the military, to understand why fighter pilots did well under stress and others didn't. They really wanted to understand what are the mechanisms by which great decisions are made in dynamic settings. So situation awareness is defined in technical terms, but the layperson's definition is knowing what's going on around you so that you know what to do. And there's three components to it. There's perception, there's comprehension of the unfolding situation, and then there's projection to know what to do next. And my research with Norwich University with emerging leaders, cadets, is that they had statistically a significant improvement. The group that did Transcendental meditation compared to controls, that they had statistically significant improvement in perception and in projection. The comprehension, I was using a tool that wasn't sensitive enough to pick up the difference, but I'm continuing with that research with military.
And Nina, you're actually an instructor.
I do. I teach Transcendental meditation, and within the past year, I've taught a good number of both veterans and active duty military. And it's been the most rewarding teaching of TM that I've ever done.
Now, what is it that makes it special and really needed by the veterans, especially this youngest generation of veterans that have so many multiple deployments?
Well, you just said it. They have so many multiple deployments. The effect of that is that they carry a huge burden of stress. They've gone and served our country, and they've had to be under situations that are very difficult. And because TM dissolves stress in a really efficient and amazing way, they show such remarkable changes. I taught one lady who really hadn't been sleeping for 2 years, and the day that she learned to meditate, she went home and slept through the night, and slept through the night every night after that. And within about 4 days of learning TM, she said, I stopped smoking because I didn't feel the need for it anymore. So it's not delayed effects. It happens right away. I taught TM to Tara Weiss, who's the head of NWVAA, and she says quite publicly that she thinks it saved her life. She was suffering from a lot of depression, and when she learned TM, she turned to me and she said, my brain is different. She could actually feel the changes in the way her brain was functioning. TM is like hitting the reset button. You know, on your computer, gets too noisy, garbagey, and you have to reboot and TM reboots our brain. It sets it back to its original function. People feel like they become more of themselves. I taught a lady who was really stressed, who was on the verge of being divorced because she just couldn't function, and her husband, was tired of dealing with her. And she said, I'm not myself anymore. That was what she was saying before she learned TM. And after she learned TM, and this was within 3 days of learning TM, she said, I'm myself again. And the divorce was kind of put on hold. They went into counseling instead. I mean, really remarkable changes that happen right away. It happens for everyone who learns TM, but when the need is so great with these young vets who have given so much, then the relief is so obvious. And like I said, it happens right away. Everyone thinks it's not going to work for me, but it does. It's just like flipping a switch. It's a technique that's automatic, and just the mind and the body go into this very deep state, and people feel relaxed.
Is that the theta state or the alpha state?
Well, it's a very good question. There is a wonderful research article about the different kinds of meditation, because there are hundreds of kinds of meditation. And the work was done on the EEG signature of each of the kinds of meditation, and they were grouped into 3 classes. So there's a class of meditation that generates a certain kind of brainwave that has to do with focus, so concentration. There's another category of meditation that has to do with being mindful, where the mind is very, very active while you're engaged in your day. And that produces another kind of EEG. But Transcendental meditation creates a different kind of coherence in the brain, where the left and the right are in synchrony, where the front and the back are in synchrony, and the top and the bottom are in synchrony. And that the class that they gave, the name that they gave, is called automatic self-transcending, meaning you're not using the technique the entire time. You begin it, but it's an effortless practice. And so when we drop off, that's correct. And then when we realize we need to come back, then we do, but it's effortless. And therefore, that allows the full and total relaxation of the whole brain. Yes.
And certainly if you've been on multiple deployments and you can't get enough sleep,
oh yeah,
that's certainly something every veteran.
Well, not only sleep is the nurse of all living things. If we get good sleep, then the rest of our day goes well. But our experience with soldiers who do have PTSD, anxiety, depression, is that they are up most of the night. They're sleeping 2 hours a night. The rest of their time, they're checking their windows and their doors. And
that's because they're hypervigilant. They don't know how to turn it off.
They are hypervigilant. The brain has a very important function when we are under stress to kick us into fight or flight. But when the stressor is gone, we need to shut that off. When a person has been on edge for months at a time, that does not shut off. And there needs to be a way for it to return to a normal state. So the deep rest that we get from Transcendental meditation has been extraordinary. This gentleman, I'd just like to promote his book. It's called The Resilient Warrior by Jerry Yellen. And it's about PTSD, and it's about Transcendental meditation. So if any of your viewers have PTSD, this is a great book to get, because it describes the research and how Transcendental meditation helps, but it also gives a lot of case examples of individuals, families that were close to falling apart, or the insomnia, the drinking, the drug abuse was just destroying people's lives, and they are able to very easily reset it. I'll just share one story, because it's a remarkable story of a veteran from the Bosnia era. And he, on his own volition, said, after his life, he turned to alcohol, and he said at one point, I'm going to stop with the alcohol. And as a result, without the alcohol, that meant he got 2 hours of sleep a night. And for 7 years, he lived on 2 hours of sleep a night. His other symptoms involved, if he's driving on the freeway and a motorcycle comes out around, he would have to literally pull over and catch his composure. He learned Transcendental meditation, just as Nina said, the very first day that he was instructed, he slept through the night 8 hours, first time in 7 years. And he is sleeping regularly, and he does not have that reaction now where something will trigger him. So he is a very big supporter. More and more vets and active duty who have learned Transcendental meditation are embracing it because it doesn't involve psychoanalysis. It doesn't involve drugs. It's portable. You can do it on an airplane. You can do it on a bus. You just do it.
And nobody knows that you're doing it anyway.
No one knows you're doing it. No.
So, you know, for anyone who would like more information, do you have a phone number they can call?
Yes.
We will call this phone number right here, 657, I'm having trouble reading this, 888-9445. That is Nina's phone, that is your phone number,
That is
Martha,
my phone
I'm sorry.
number, yes.
So let me do that phone number. Martha's phone number is 657-888-9445.
They can
And
also.
we have a wonderful website,
Yes.
www.transcendentalmeditation.org,
Yeah.
and that leads you
Exactly.
to everything else.
So www.tm.org and also www.davidlynchfoundation.org. On that website, there are a lot of videos of vets who have learned Transcendental meditation, and they have really wonderful stories to tell.
The Resilient Warrior Program.
Yes.
Building resilience and healing the hidden wounds of war.
Yes, that's it. David Lynch Foundation.
We encourage you to get help.
Yes.
These are some people who want to help you overcome PTSD and depression. Thank you so much for what you're doing for our veterans.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nina.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you.